Alrighty, let's get started. Hope everyone is having a good weekend so far. And if you're in the Peterborough area enjoying some maybe slightly positive temperatures, getting ready for a much warmer day tomorrow. Bring your umbrellas. If you're going outside tomorrow, we are likely to get completely deluged here. I want to go through a few things, just bring us up to speed and talk about some of the things from the recent past and in the not too distant future as well. Just kind of do the administrative part of the course, and then feel free to ask me questions. I appreciate the four of you that have taken the time to watch this live. I'll be speaking to you, but also to any people that will be watching this later when I post the recording. So I will start out with this week coming up. We are on chapter 6, so we have our usual chapter 6 quiz to consider. We're back to that. I got a few email during the week asking if why the quiz wasn't available, and my response to that was my predictable, please look at the syllabus. Of course, last week we had our midterm and there was nothing else assigned. So hopefully you used some of that time to get caught up or study for other courses or whatever. That was a bit of a relief. I always like to leave the midterm so that it's only the midterm in that week. And usually I have it earlier on in the week, so you've got some time to yourselves afterwards. The other thing, of course, due on Friday at 11:59 is discussion 3 part post 2. So I see that most people submitted post 1 on time. I see a lot of posts out there. If you haven't, remember, it is a flat 10% penalty only to post at any time before the forum closes, which is 11:59 Friday. So if you did miss posting post 1 for whatever reason, please do post it, get it in there, get some marks for it. 10% hardly enough of a penalty to forgo all the marks, right? And I guess on the other hand, we have the situation where it's the best 5 of 6 marks anyways. So if you have to take one of the discussions off, feel free to do that, and I'll be giving you the best 5 marks of the 6 ones that you hand in. Our assignment, our term paper, is due on Friday, March the 25th per the syllabus. That's coming pretty fast. That's only 20 days from now, just slightly under 3 weeks. I hope you're making good progress on that. If you are not, this is kind of a last call. Put it in turbo, get going, get your research done. There is a massive difference in the marks that a one-time paper gets versus one that has been composed over a period of time and has received multiple edits and reviews and such. So it's worth a significant portion of your mark. So please do get on top of that. There are certainly people in the course that haven't even picked a topic yet. So please refer to the announcements as to how that process works, or listen to old office hours to understand how to do that if you don't understand it right away. Okay. Midterms are all marked. I will post your marks hopefully over the weekend. I'll give myself just enough extra time to say it'll be Monday at the latest. So I'm expecting they'll be able to do it maybe even today, but just in case I get delayed or whatever, there's some unexpected problem, it'll certainly be by the end of day Monday that your marks will be posted. People probably like to know in general how the class did. I don't have the exact stats, but I do see some marks. It was out of 90. I see marks in the 80s. So there's and lots of marks in the 70s. So my general comment, just at a quick glance, would be that people did quite well on the midterm. That's traditionally the case. So it's an open book midterm. It was an open book midterm. And I like people to do well in it, to keep their marks moving up. The final exam will be harder. It'll be harder because it will not be an open book. You will have a cheat sheet, and we'll talk about that later on as we get closer, but it will be significantly harder. The performance is a lot worse in the final than it is in the midterm. So I'm glad to see people do well in the midterm. I will do my best, as I always do, to coach people to prepare for the final. It often gets ignored with different priorities, or maybe they just don't think that I know what I'm talking about. I have no idea. Or maybe it's just that it's that much harder without being an open book. All right. Speaking of the final, I believe that the class has already received an email, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. And that email has given you till approximately March 18th. I've got a copy of an email from another class, not from this class. If it's the same email and just tailored to this class, it's March 18th. You have to respond as to which course location you want. So there's three choices. There is Peterborough, Durham, and online. So they all are proctored exams, meaning that there'll be someone watching you in all cases. If you do not respond by March 18th, you will be assigned Peterborough. Every year I have panicked students a day or two before the exam, realize that they have not responded. They live in, let's say, Turkey, and they can't make it to Peterborough. Obviously, they can't hop on a plane or whatever. That means they missed the exam. Okay, just to be 100% clear, by the time we get past, there's due dates for a reason. By the time we get past those due dates, the people that monitor, that do the proctored online exams is an outfit called Examity. And Examity is independent of Trent. They provide a service to us. They are doing exams for universities, colleges, whatever, all around the world. And if you don't book in a timely manner, you're not going to be writing the exam. So that's why we set these timelines. It's not arbitrary. It's not because we like to set deadlines on people. You need to respond and pick your location. If you don't pick your location, like I said, it's Peterborough, and it will be Peterborough. I will not be offering take-home projects or any other makeup work. It's on you to be responsible. So most students are, but there's invariably a few that are distracted in life and don't, and those people end up taking the course again typically. So I believe our final is worth 35% in this course. Don't quote me on that, but I can check it quickly. I'm pretty sure that is the case. Sorry, it's worth 30%. The final is worth 30% in this course. So it's worth an awfully big chunk of marks. It's hard to do really well in the course without at least getting some marks on the final, some good marks on the final. So great question. Even if we wish to write it in person at Peterborough, should we still submit? Yeah, please do. Please do submit even Peterborough. What happens is I get an Excel spreadsheet sent to me sometime after the 18th, and that starts telling me how many people I need to proctor, how many exams I need to send to each location, that sort of thing. We default it, but if you actually positively identify Peterborough, then there's less for us to worry about. So yeah, please do respond to that. Peterborough, as it says in the exam schedule, the default exam schedule just shows the Peterborough location. It will likely be the workshop leaders that will proctor that. I will be proctoring in Durham traditionally. I'm not locking myself into that, but that's what usually happens. It's easier for me to get to Durham than people that live in Peterborough who would rather proctor in Peterborough. The online is good. You do need some basic equipment like a webcam and a microphone. I believe a microphone. I'm not 100% sure of that actually. A webcam for sure. And you need a good internet connection. So if you've got a spotty internet connection and you live in the area, my suggestion is that you write the exam in person. That's just a suggestion. I had lots of people talking about their internet connections with the midterm across a couple different courses. And it was universally, my response was, I'm sorry, that's too bad. You're responsible for your internet connection. Okay. So there's no way that I can verify that some random student in some random place in the world has or has not had an internet connection interruption. So I make the assumption that they have not, or that they can have a backup in place. So have a phone that has data nearby in case you run into problems. So that is the responsibility of the student if you choose to take an online exam. I get it if you live in a country where you're just not going to buy a plane ticket just to come here, you're reliant on internet, have a backup plan, please. Just be careful that way. I'm not out here being thrilled when a student fails the exam because they get disconnected or they say they get disconnected. My point is more that you need to have a backup plan, whether that's data or a second internet connection or a different location to go to, right? Maybe you can go to a local, I'll say Tim Hortons, whether you have a Tim Hortons or not, go to a local shop that offers free internet so that you can continue there. Think about it. Think about having that backup plan, okay? So the only other thing that I think I want to talk about was, so we'll talk more about the specifics of the final exam as we get closer. So do we write the final with pen and paper for in-person, or do we bring our laptop? So it's pen and paper. It's the old-fashioned way where you get cramps in your hands from doing all the writing. So the format, and just talking generalities at this point, the format is mostly, or at least half, multiple choice, and the rest will be short answer. There may be some long answers thrown in there as well. So I like to do a scenario-based final exam in the short and long answer section, and meaning that I take you through an investigation and ask you specific questions about steps in that investigation. That's what I've done in the past. The final is not yet written, so again, I'm not tying myself to that, but that's what I've done in the past. So yeah, like I said, we'll talk about that a lot later on in office hours as we get closer. The only other thing that I wanted to bring up, and it's certainly not targeted at the people that have attended in person here, or generally the people that actually watch this. This is unfortunately usually targeted towards the people that never attend office hours, don't even know office hours exists. But the course withdrawal date, I call it the drop date for the course, is next Friday, March 11th. And what that means is that you can withdraw from the course without academic penalty. So if you withdraw, then there's no mark on your transcript. It doesn't ever say that you even took the course. I don't believe it does anyways. But if you withdraw on March 12th onwards, you will get whatever marks you attain in the course. So if you stop working on the course and you've attained 15% so far, you will have a 15% on your transcript that will affect your average and everything else. I encourage anyone that's on the border or concerned about where they are to talk to an academic advisor. They are the right people to give you good advice about how to proceed. This course is offered in the summertime. Traditionally, it's taught by Professor Hercock, the professor that originally designed the course. This version of the course that you are in is version 2.0. It has nothing to do with the course that Professor Hercock teaches in the summer. There is no commonality to my knowledge whatsoever. Different text, different approach, different everything. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of leverage. There's no need to stick it out to the end and get a 51 to try and learn as much as you can so that you can do really well in the summer, because it's going to be a whole new course and you're going to start over. Now, there is some possibility that I'll end up teaching this course as is in the summer, but it's my understanding that Professor Hercock will be teaching in the summer as he has for the last decade or thereabouts. Okay. I think, just looking over my list here, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns? While you're thinking about that, I'll keep talking here. Just as an aside, and to answer your question, Nina, even more completely, we will I will allow a cheat sheet for the final exam. So you'll have a 8.5 by 11, a standard size piece of paper, front and back, printed or handwritten, your choice. So if you have good eyes or a magnifying glass, you can use really small font and put an awful lot of information on that. So there will be a cheat sheet that will be offered for the final exam to help you out. Okay. I just make the final exam line. Is it possible to change it so I can make it in Durham? That's a great question. I don't know that, Henry. I will find out. I'll take note of your question right now and see if you can reschedule, given that it's well in advance of March 18th. I will get back to you by email, Henry. Change online to Durham. Okay, I will find that out. Yeah. I know that the answer would change dramatically if we were past the 18th or whatever the deadline is imposed in your email, but there may be some hope now. Okay, folks, if you don't have further questions, if if there's nothing that you need from me, get on with your Saturday. Thank you again for taking the time to come and participate live. It helps to have questions and to interact a bit with students and not just be recording to a blank screen. All right. All right. So have a good day, guys. I'll stick around for a few minutes in case there are lingering questions. Thank you. Thanks, Nina.